All right, we are recording. We are good to go. What's up, guys? This is crypto call number 2. Today we're going into Stellar Lumens. This is one of my personal favorite projects. Um, After today's research, it might even be near the top. I definitely would put it up in there in top 3. Um, yeah, let's go in. So I know there's a few people that are asking just some basic stuff to go over at the beginning of how to buy cryptos and where do I purchase them on. Um, as far as I know, the only place you can buy cryptocurrencies at this point in the US is Coinbase. And so on here, this is where you buy Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum. And once you successfully buy Bitcoin and stuff in here, all you need to do is go to your dashboard. Nope, counts. And this is where you would send your cryptocurrencies to an exchange like Binance. And Binance is where you buy all these other cryptocurrencies like Stellar, pretty much anything that's not on Coinbase is Bitcoin. Binance is where you buy that. So yeah, just a quick walkthrough for that. You just would press send, you enter an address. On here you have your wallets. And in order to get some, you deposit it. It'll give you an address. Simply copy and paste this address into your Coinbase where you want to send to, enter the amount, press continue. Yeah, most of you guys know how to do this, but just in case you don't, this is how you would transfer your funds, your cryptos to Binance. So you send your Bitcoin or Ethereum wherever you'd like, send it here, and then you go to the exchange. And this is where you would buy your cryptos. So today we're looking at Stellar. Stellar is at a price of 20 cents, roughly, which is pretty low in my opinion for Stellar. I think this currency, we saw it peak out at about close to $1 back in the bull run of December and January. So in terms of compared to that, currency is at relatively low prices. We can go ahead and look at it on the chart here. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you, Alan. If you have any questions, let me know, man.
Mexico, really? Yeah, I'm going back.
Yeah, here we go. We're looking at a monthly chart here on Stellar. As you can see, like I was saying, the crazy bull run, we saw price went all the way up to almost $1.99, not quite $1, 98 cents. Last month, 2 months, we've seen lots of bearish movement. As you've seen, this is pretty similar to the entire crypto markets graph right here. Get on the weekly. Got a few bullish weeks here, but yeah, a lot of red, a lot of going down. This is pretty common amongst the entire crypto market at this point. Get here in the daily. This is where you can see that we've hit a really strong support right here for Stellar. Is right here. It served as resistance for pretty much all of December, midway through December, broke our resistance, retested that support, and then we took off. But yeah, now you can see we've hit this support level right here about 3 times now, and price is currently chilling right there at a strong support level. Yeah, I don't really want to go too into the technical analysis of this. I'm more focused on the fundamentals. But yeah, that's the price chart of Stellar, what it's looking like. We are sitting on very strong support for daily. Could see a rebound here in coming months, weeks. Yeah, on to it. Let me pull up my crypto catalog here. So yeah, let's get into it. Stellar. Well, I first want to mention I think Stellar is cross-compared with Ripple quite a lot because actually the creator of Ripple, or one of the co-founders of Ripple, Jed McCaleb, is actually the creator of Ripple, or is the creator of Stellar. So the guy who created Ripple, helped create Ripple, is the creator of Stellar, which I think is huge in the sense that he shifted focus from one project to another. Main differences between Stellar and Ripple. Stellar is nonprofit, Ripple is for profit. Stellar is indeed a fork of Ripple, was created 2 years after it. For those of you who don't know, Jed McCaleb is the creator of Mt. Gox. And like I said, he's also founder of Ripple. So this is probably one of the most important people in the blockchain industry. And in this ecosystem, he has a lot of credit to his name for his accomplishments so far in this field. So the fact that he is one of the founders of this project says a lot about this project. So what is Stellar? Stellar is open source, nonprofit blockchain, focused on integrating DLT technology into existing financial infrastructure. It also has a built-in decentralized exchange that allows ICO launches. So what that's saying is Stellar is not trying to create new financial infrastructure. Their focus is actually on integrating blockchain technology, basically. I spelled it right there. Whoops. So they want to integrate technology into existing financial models. They're not trying to overhaul the entire system. They're trying to be the bridge, so to say, between the banks, infrastructures. They want to enable their focus is on making real world applications of blockchain right now, in which they already do have working products and partnerships, which we'll get into further in this video. Yeah, I think that covers. Oh yeah, they also are building in so as you might know, Ethereum is one of the most popular ICO platforms that coins will be launching on. They've you see an ERC20 token on this catalog. That means that's the coin that's been launched on the Ethereum blockchain. Stellar has something very similar, and they also do ICO launches. And what they have is decentralized exchange that allows people to trade these projects that will be launched on Stellar's blockchain. They have a decentralized exchange to enable trading of those projects to cross-compared currencies, and that is where the decentralized exchange comes in. That is built into the protocol, into Stellar platform technology, allowing for easier access to those coins. This is useful in the sense if you didn't want to create a smart contract-based blockchain, you'd probably want to use Stellar's protocol instead. Getting into the Stellar consensus protocol, this is a little more techy. This is pretty in-depth when you try to understand this. But so what Stellar uses is a federated Byzantine agreement. Simply put, this is just a way for a network to achieve consensus. We all know consensus in this market because, yes, consensus is how you verify these transactions on a network. Stellar's way of doing this is completely unique to the cryptocurrency world. Most Byzantine fault tolerances are practical, as you can see Stellar's is right here. And actually, I think that's exactly why Stellar was created when Ripple, as a fork of Ripple. Back in the day when Ripple was first involved, they were having trouble getting consensus to be established. So what's his name here? David Mazuris is a professor. He's basically the guy behind this FBA, Federated Byzantine Tolerance. They created Ripple, or they created Stellar in response to the troubles that Ripple was having with their consensus protocol. So the main difference between the Federated Byzantine Agreement and practical Byzantine fault tolerance is in Federated, anyone can use this network, and the node validators, the people who are trusted to run this network, are not predetermined. So on Ripple's, it is predetermined people who will run the nodes, and these are the people who verify the transactions on this network. And most systems like that, they are generally predefined, like there's constraints and restrictions which these validators can be set by. So these people are usually, this is usually where the centralization argument has been made for Ripple, in the sense that there's other reasons too, but in the sense of the network and how it uses, practical Byzantine fault tolerance, such a tricky word. I'm just going to say PFPT now. in that sense, they generally need 66% of people of the nodes running to validate transactions. So in a sense, if there's more than 33% with malicious intentions, that's where the consensus stops being effective, so to say. Where did it go? So what federated Byzantine agreement, how it's different is these nodes can actively, so what they do is it's almost like a gossip network. As a node, you're going to select who you are trustworthy and you're going to broadcast that to the network. The nodes can openly choose who to trust, and that creates a quorum slice. Voting occurs on which nodes to trust. Trusted nodes are verified as transactions. So in a sense, when I'm a node and I'm running this network, I'm going to give out a list of nodes that I trust and I verify that are part of my quorum slice. And that is part of me like verifying my transaction as a node. And other nodes can see that. So they will see that I trust these people, who do these people trust? And those are the communications and bridges between this network. It is basically, so if you were not a trustworthy node, it would be distributed and broadcast. And yeah, that's not going to work that way. So that is very, very technical and very hard to explain. I hope I did a good job you guys understanding that. I am still relatively new to this concept. It is quite a hard thing to grasp. I'm going to do a lot more research on that. I'll see and get you guys more updated. I've also, side note here, I put a legend, started really working on this for these technical types of things. I don't have one yet I can create it now. Creating stuff to explain these really technical type terms in layman's terms so the common person can understand them. Federated Byzantine. But in a sense, the main thing you have to understand is that this is the protocol, this is basically the code, this is how the network works, this is how the transactions are verified in the network, and the main difference to highlight is that Stellar's model is open. It is open network participation. Anyone can run a node. I could run a node right now if I want to, you could too. That's the biggest difference between that and other models that use Pascal Byzantine fault tolerance. Any questions about anybody at this point? I know that was pretty techy and I might not have done the best job explaining. I do have a lot to learn myself on these kind of things. So yeah, that's your Christian. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you. If you got any questions, let me know, man. So that's your network mechanics. This is a section you might know this is new into the crypto catalog. This is something I think is important. Not necessarily to understand how the code works, not necessarily understand exactly how this operates, and because, like I said, that is very difficult thing to understand. But I think it's important in the sense that knowing which one of the differences between the networks and their underlying mechanics, knowing which ones have advantages over the other. That's what I'm trying to outline here with this network mechanics section. You're good, man. Okay, on to the next use case problem solved. So I kind of touched on this before. Stellar looks to be, it's pretty similar in the sense of what Ripple wants to do, even OMG. They have a phrase, unbank the banked, or bank the unbanked. I butchered that, but yeah, they want to do what they want to seek to provide is just a source of payment for people who may not have access to financial systems. Remittances, micropayments, service for the underbanked, mobile money branches, professional startups. So people who may not have access to a bank, a way for them to send money internationally and without using a bank. As we know, this is the call for use case for most of these crypto projects is eliminating the use of a program like Western Union, where they might charge up to 10% per transaction. So using that, in the sense that Stellar is open for anyone to use, and the fees on this system are fractions of what they are on other systems. Yeah, another use case, another call to fame for Stellar is the decentralized exchange that they're building for the ICO platform. As I was saying before, with platforms that launch on Ethereum, platforms can now launch on Stellar. So if you're an ICO token, you can launch yourself on Stellar, and they will be building a decentralized exchange. This is pretty cool in the sense that this seems to be a trend in the cryptocurrency market, building these decentralized exchange, because cryptocurrencies are all about decentralization. As we know, that is the ultimate case for many people that are why they are so interested in them. So the products we have now, like Binance, so to say, this is in a sense still a centralized exchange because all the money comes in and out of one system. So for using a system like Binance, if they are susceptible to getting hacked, and building a decentralized exchange would alleviate some of those issues. On a centralized exchange, that all the data is not in one centralized place. The exchange is decentralized, meaning the data on these servers are spread across the world, and safe from those kind of things. What else we got here? Okay, yeah, Stellar replaces the manner in which financial institutions transmit currency to one another, free to use along any payment processor against our network. So what Stellar really wants to do, and their main goal, like I was saying this before, is they want to be the infrastructure for which payments are sent across the world. We all know how blockchain, how awesome it is in the sense that we don't need these banks or anything. So people who will be running these nodes are ones that can validate these transactions going across the world. Stellar seeks to be a more, I like to think of it as the pragmatic coin of the market, similar to what Ripple is doing, except Stellar, its protocol is that their consensus protocol is improved and it's non-profit, which I think says a lot. So moving on, anyone have any questions about what Stellar is trying to do, what they stand for? Actually, I think we can, let's get into that more on there. So let's see if there's anything I missed here. That was just basically a recap of the research I did earlier this afternoon. Let's see if I missed anything. So like I said, yeah, remittances, mobile branches, mobile money, micropayments, services for the underused. This is the future of banking is here. Learn about our mission. Let's do it. Governance. This is more, this looks like more about Judd McCaleb, our guy. I think this is more just about how this thing's going to be run. Board of directors, executive director, employee compensation foundation membership, compensation policy. Yeah, that's not really what we're looking for. Major Stellar concepts. Yeah, here we go. Let's see if I missed anything. How the Stellar network operates. So you use websites. I have all these websites linked in the catalog. They're usually on the sources page all the way to the right. I have the white paper listed usually, and I can usually have the website of the cryptocurrency as well. So yes, sending decentralized servers, how the blockchain works. We all know that. Verify it. Yep. So this just, I think, explains the blockchain. Yep. Stellar is a blockchain, and Stellar, what I think about what's great about Stellar is it combines the capacities of Ethereum, offering ICO launches and a platform for other cryptocurrencies to launch. It combines the capacities of Ripple, serving to be financial infrastructure for banks and any sort of payment processors alike. And the the consensus protocol, which it has, is pretty revolutionary, and it is unique in the sense that there's no other cryptocurrency that uses this protocol right now. So, the business model, commercial restrictions. Whoops. Sorry, guys, I don't have my mouse anymore. I'm using my notepad. Really sensitive. There are no restrictions on any commercial use. So yeah, anyone who wants to set up a financial payment infrastructure that wants to use the awesomeness of the blockchain to send payments across the world can simply run a Stellar Stellar. Pretty easy to use inside your own wallet, and right here, like I said, no restrictions. I don't think there's much on here. Transaction fees, scalability. Transaction fees. You guys can read this stuff too. Yeah. Not too much on here. So let's get into the news about Stellar. Oh yeah, here's the white paper. I was gonna get into this, but I was briefly reading this before I started this, talking about the Federated Byzantine Agreement. This is really good if you guys want to know the real technical know-how of this consensus protocol. Like I said, I'm generally curious to this, and I will be doing a lot more research in this, and I will be posting all of that, letting you guys know. I'll probably that will be probably put within this legend when I develop this a little further with what each one of these technical things is, what it means, what it's trying to do, how it works, sort of say. But yeah, here's their white paper is essentially just how they came up with this sort of a consensus agreement. Lots of figures, graphs, lots of mathy stuff. So if you're into computer coding or math or computer science, any of that kind of stuff, this is, I've heard, a great read. I will be getting into this myself, but yeah, I haven't gotten quite into it yet. So let's look at the news for Stellar. Actually, we can go further into the catalog right now. Let's see what else I got here for you guys. Coin issuance, no other details. Okay, so when Stellar was launched, 50% of the coins were given to partners. That partnership program that promotes Stellar ecosystem contribution. 20% were airdropped to Bitcoin and Ripple holders, and 5% in reserve for the Stellar Foundation. Those 5% held by the foundation are actually used for operational accounts. What? Oh, okay. The fixed inflation is held at 1% annually. That is pretty awesome in the sense that we all know how inflation can ruin currencies, how our government's been pumping inflation rates like crazy, and the dollar is worth pennies of what it was worth when we took it out the gold standard. This is all just why cryptos are awesome in a sense, but it's good to know that their inflation rate is fixed. The coin purposes, Lumens are the native token used for Stellar. They are used to pay for transactions on a Stellar network. So let's say I'm a business and I want to use Stellar's payment infrastructure. This Stellar Lumens tokens are the tokens necessary to be used to pay transactions on this network. So I want to send you US dollars for whatever we're purchasing. Let's say I'm buying steel from a unit manufacturer in Europe, and I want to send you money across through the Stellar infrastructure without going to a bank. We would use Lumens to pay the transaction fees or that to occur. And that's why Lumens are used onto the team and people using this project. Like I said before, Jed McCaleb, one of the best OG guys in the cryptocurrency space, is the creator of this project, which I think says a lot about this. I want to call it a book I've read. It's called Digital Gold. I have it right here. It's by Nathaniel Popper. This is a really good read if you guys want to know more about the people and key figures who have done who have basically made Bitcoin and cryptos into what they were. Jed McCaleb was one of the first guys mentioned in this book. He created Mt. Gox, which was, if you didn't know, one of the first places to buy cryptocurrencies in the world, and it served to be the major place to buy cryptocurrencies for a long time until it crashed. He was not responsible for that crash. Uh, yeah, I got you, Kev. Um, yeah, but he handed over that project to another guy who ran it into its eventual demise. He was really not. He realized soon on when he created this Mt. Gox that it was too much for him to handle, and unfortunately, somebody else didn't handle it well. Anyways, that just goes to say this guy has been in this space for a long time. He has made extremely successful projects, including Ripple, which is a lot of people love Ripple. And yeah, this is his newest creation. This is what he spends his time on. Professor David Mazieres is the chief scientist who developed FBA. I have a video linked in here too, explaining more about this, the consensus protocol. There's a lot of good stuff on that. It's really interesting stuff. It's cutting edge of how these cryptocurrencies actually regulate themselves, how these transactions are verified, how these blockchains actually work. I think it's useful in the sense to know if you're on top of that and not on top of it, but if you're in the loop with that, you're automatically putting yourself in an elite group of people that most people don't understand what these cryptocurrencies. They just know, oh, does this one does this. Ripple is for banks, Stellar's for a nonprofit thing, for similar to Ripple, or Bitcoin's the gold, Cardano's smart people, Monero's privacy. They know the general sense of what these cryptocurrencies do and what they're seeking to do. But if you can understand these the technical things and you understand how these protocols work, you're putting yourself in a elite group of people that understand what the flaws to these protocols are, what can go wrong, which currencies have an edge on the other in terms of technical skills. Because at the end of the day, there's not going to be 1,500 crypto coins left after this bubble is going to burst. If you didn't know, this market is a bubble at this point. Speculation has superseded the actual adoption of cryptocurrencies. So my prediction is that one day there will be a bubble pop and a lot of these crypto projects will go to zero and they will cease to exist. So being ahead on this technical aspect, understanding how these networks actually function, where their value is driven from, how to use these networks, that puts you ahead in the sense that you'd be able to see. Thanks, Kev. You'd be able to see what network still has strength. What network is going to stand the test of that time. What network has the users and the resources built behind it. Which network's been being used. That's the whole idea of this catalog too, is to get more into those nitty-gritty details of these projects and how their value stands not just based on the sentiment of the market, the hype of it. We all know that this market is pretty sentimentally analysis driven, in the sense that what is hyped is usually what's valued. We see major price fluctuations. That's also part of this catalog right here, the marketing. But yeah, we'll get back more into the people involved with this. Some of their achievements is Stellar is one of the most regulatory compliant cryptocurrencies there are. Real-time settlement of 2 to 5 seconds, which we all know beats Bitcoin's, which can take up to days, weeks, maybe. The Mobius ICO, I don't know if anyone's heard of that. That had a very crazy successful launch and is on the Stellar protocol. And their payment system is email-like. That was something I just recently discovered. I wish I had more for you guys related to that. So essentially what I've heard is that how that works is their payment system is similar to email, where you simply just type a recipient, very user-friendly interface to send money. This is what I really want to get into while we still have time, say 5 minutes left. I can start another one if you guys like, but this is probably the meat and potatoes of Stellar's value to me, I think. That their protocol, their consensus protocol, is next level, and I think it's beyond anything that else exists at this point. The advantages to it are crazy, but what really holds a lot of value is IBM. We know they are a crazy huge tech giant. what IBM is doing is really good sense of following the tech market and what the tech market's going to do. IBM is their partner. They currently use the Stellar network. Um, I've been doing cross-border transactions with this. This was the news as of about 2 weeks ago, 325. They also have partnerships with Deloitte, Stripe, which is one of the major payment processors, Wipro, and many more. You can click this link to see all their partnerships. So what Stellar has an advantage is that there are companies already using this software. There are companies, this product is live. This is not in development. This is not an idea. This is working back right now. Like I said before, their main claim is that they want to be software that basically is the intermediary between banks, people, payment processors. They want to be the real-time, right now application of blockchain tech. And as far as my eyes, they're ahead of the game. IBM, one of the biggest companies in the world, is using them already today. That can't be understated. That is huge. It is really huge. So moving on, things to look forward to. You know how to monitor these guys, see if they're doing what they're going to say to do. The decentralized exchange will be launched very soon this year. I said Q2, Q3, so within the next 6 months here, that's something to look out for Stellar. Another thing is the Lightning Network implementation. We all know Bitcoin's trying to get a Lightning Network. Basically, that's just a scaling solution allowing for these cryptos transactions to go through faster, work faster. Farex is another payment processor. That's their sort of network of payment processors they're going to be releasing. I'm getting these final notes here for my last minute and a half here. It's not truly decentralized. That's kind of hard to say exactly why, but that has to do with the protocol of the consensus protocol and how the nodes are run. The biggest sense is this is built more for financial institutions to run nodes, to run networks, but in a sense, everyone benefits from this. Everyone's available to use this. It's a nonprofit organization, so there isn't profits to be written, but the network can be controlled by centralized figures. The main promise, like I said before, it promises offering of speeding up blockchain technology adoption already in use. I think that's where to wrap it up here is that Stellar is one of the best coins out there being used by best networks out there, since it's being used by major corporations. And it is one of the first real applications I think we're going to see of cryptocurrencies. We see Bitcoin being transacted, but not on the scale that it's really driving value, whereas Stellar has these major partnerships with coins and companies willing to use it. I think that's all I got for you today. I'm about to get cut off here. Any quick questions? We can also start another Zoom call if you guys want. We can do a Q&A. I can show you some more things.
All I gotta say is follow the paper trails, man. There's a reason why all big institutions